Hola amigos, bienvenidos. Hey guys, and welcome back to the Language Tutor Spanish podcast. I'm your profesor de español, Danny Evans, and I'm so glad you're with me on this episode to practice some español. You know, before we get going with that though, I wanted to take a minute to tell you guys something that I've been doing lately that's really cool. I've been having a lot of fun with this. A friend of mine, Rob Jones, asked me to co-host a podcast with him on travel, and it's called The Family Vacationer. And I've been having such a great time co-hosting this podcast with Rob. And one of the things I learned about Rob, and I've known him a long time, but one of the things I learned about him is that he knows everything about traveling and booking. He's a travel agent extraordinaire. And, you know, just as an example, you need to go check out the Family Vacationer podcast and listen to the episode we did about New Zealand, because this couple went to New Zealand for a few weeks, and they actually took their daughter as well. But they went to New Zealand, and Rob handled everything from flights to hotel, even their little excursions that they took. He had everything laid out and booked. It was just amazing to hear all the things that they got done in those few weeks and all the great things that they saw in New Zealand in that amount of time. Rob was able to take these few weeks and give them the most for their money, and I was just blown away. So if you're thinking about going somewhere, you really need to reach out to Rob. You can email him at rob@thefamilyvacationer.live. That's Rob, R-O-B, at thefamilyvacationer.live. And also just go to our website, thefamilyvacationer.live, and just check out the website and the episodes that are there. But I just wanted to tell you about that because I think, you know, foreign language and travel really seem to go together. So check out the Family Vacationer and let Rob hook you up on your next vacation. And with that, it's time to jump into practicing the future tense. Now, first thing I want to do with the future tense is I want to just go over those endings. Okay, so I have all 10 basic subject pronouns listed out. I'm going to call out the subject pronoun. I just want you to tell me what ending would go with that pronoun in the future tense. All right. So it's going to be real easy, really quick, easy practice here. All right. So the first one is the tu form. What ending in the future tense goes with tu? And you should have said as, A-S with an accent on that A. The next one is nosotros. And that is hemos, E-M-O-S. And just a quick side note, you're probably thinking to yourself right now, that's the only one on the chart that doesn't have an accent on it. And if you thought about that, great job. The next one is ella. And that is A with an accent. And the next one is ellos. And that is an, A with an accent, and N. Up next is yo. And that should be E with an accent. And now el. And that is A with an accent also. Up next is the ustedes form. And that is an, A with an accent, N. Now the vosotros form. Vosotros. And that is ace, E-I-S with an accent on the E. And up next is usted. And that is A with an accent. And the last one is ellas. And that is an, A with an accent, and N. All right, and that concludes our first practice. Now, up next, what I want to do is we're just simply going to translate some sentences from English into Spanish. All right. There are actually going to be 15 of these, and these do mix regular verbs with future tense irregular stems. Now, I don't have all of the future tense stems in here for a reason, but we do have most of them that I listed on the YouTube episode. So let's just get started here, and we're going to say the sentence in English, and I want you to translate it to Spanish, all right? First up is we're going to use the verb llegar, to arrive, and say this one: she will arrive today. And that should be ella llegará hoy. Ella llegará hoy. Up next, we're going to use the verb comer, which means to eat. We will eat at 7 o'clock. And that would be nosotros comeremos a las 7. Nosotros comeremos a las 7. Now, the next one is that verb caber. Now, I didn't really go over this a lot on the YouTube episode, but the verb caber means to fit. And typically this is like, only 2 people will fit in the car. There's talking about the space available. So I just simply want you to say, I will fit. And that is yo cabré. Yo cabré. Up next, they will set the table. Now, before we do this one, remember that we don't say set the table. We say put the table. Okay, so we use poner, to put the table. So they will set the table. And that should be ellos pondrán la mesa. Ellos pondrán la mesa. Up next, we're going to use tomar apuntes, to take notes. They will take notes in the class tomorrow. And that should be ellas tomarán apuntes en la clase mañana. Ellas tomarán apuntes en la clase mañana. And now we use the verb decir. I will tell you later. And that should be yo te diré luego. Yo te diré luego. Up next, let's use the verb salir, to leave. Will you leave on time? Now let's use the usted form here. Will you leave on time? And that should be usted saldrá a tiempo. Usted saldrá a tiempo. All right, now let's use the verb vivir, to live. It's going to kind of go with the one we used on YouTube. In the future, which is el futuro, in the future, I will live in Paris. And that should be en el futuro, yo viviré en París. En el futuro, yo viviré en París. Now let's use the verb hacer, to do or to make. And the sentence is going to be, we will take a trip next year. Now, just a quick explanation. Remember, to take a trip is to do a trip or to make a trip. And when we're saying next year, we've got a couple of ways we can say this, but we're going to say the year that's coming, or the year that comes. All right? So we will take a trip next year. And that would be nosotros haremos un viaje el año que viene. The year that's coming. Nosotros haremos un viaje el año que viene. All right, a couple more. The next, we're going to use the verb poder, which means to be able to, or the way we say can. And we're going to ask the question, will they be able to pay? And that would be ellos podrán pagar. Ellos podrán pagar. All right, the next one is going to use the verb recibir, to receive. We will receive the package tonight. And a package is el paquete. So we will receive the package tonight. And that would be nosotros recibiremos el paquete esta noche. Nosotros recibiremos el paquete esta noche. Now let's use the verb tener, and we're going to say she will be 13 years old. And that's ella tendrá 13 años. Ella tendrá 13 años. All right, we're going to do 3 more. The next one is going to use the verb querer. I will want a drink with dinner. And remember, a drink is una bebida, and dinner is la cena. So I will want a drink with dinner. And that would be yo querré una bebida con la cena. Yo querré una bebida con la cena. Up next, let's use the verb saber, to know. He will know our seat numbers when we arrive. Okay, that's a long sentence, but he will know our seat numbers when we arrive. And that's él sabrá nuestros números del asiento cuando llegamos. Once again, él sabrá nuestros números del asiento cuando llegamos. And the last one, venir, the verb to come. We will come tomorrow. And that's going to be nosotros vendremos mañana. Nosotros vendremos mañana. And we didn't use the verb haber in this episode. I did talk about it on the YouTube channel on that episode, but we didn't use it in this particular practice because we really have to use it with another verb. And so that's coming in other tenses, and so we'll definitely practice that verb a lot in the future. But that wraps up today's episode, and I'm so glad that you were able to come and practice with me. I hope this has been beneficial. And I wish for everybody and all your families and friends, paz y bendiciones, peace and blessings. And I'll see you next time on the Language Tutor Spanish podcast. Hasta pronto.